I got distracted because we were in the middle of a conversation. We should already be live.
So yeah, I mean, it's a little hard to criticize a game that really centers around the job system for centering around the job system.
Yeah.
You know? But it's annoying because I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to grind a little bit as a thief and maybe a little bit as a summoner or whatever it is. A little bit as this, a little, you know, I need these jobs, maybe as a dancer so I can wear freaking ribbons. It's just that's what the game is. That's probably why I never really got farther than the first, I think, past the first crystal.
Yeah. Well, see, because from my perspective, I don't think 5 is even that bad of a game because it does what it does. In fact, I put it right there with 4 and 6 on average, and I think it's probably the most underrated of all the Final Fantasy games, partially because it took so long to come here.
Yeah. Probably.
But see, like, a lot of the issues you see with it, I see that stuff too, but like even more with a lot of the games that come after 6, right? So I still see 5 as being in a pretty high place compared to a lot of the games that came after it.
Yeah, because I mean, they made it a little easier in 7, but with the Magicite and everything, it's like, is that what they call it in 7?
Materia.
No. Materia. With the Materia, it's like, you got to sort of commit to certain jobs or, you know, certain sets of materia for each. And those are the kinds of decisions that I don't like making. That's probably why I like Final Fantasy VI so much, because those decisions are kind of made for you.
Well, to some degree. You actually do have to commit to stats. Because how your stats go up depends on what Magicite is equipped to your character when they level.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. There's a lot of committing in that, so.
Yeah.
Why is my room pink? I've been over this many times. It's not actually my room. I am just living here at the moment. But my favorite color is pink, so this doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah. I need to get some new shirts. I used to have some really nice pink shirts, like button downs that I used to wear to work and stuff.
I have to do laundry today because this is my last clean t-shirt. Everything else I have left is all button down shirts.
Pink is a very manly color, I think.
Oh, yeah. It was for a long time.
You know, pink doesn't actually exist. Did you know that?
Yes, it skirts the edge of the infrared spectrum.
Yeah. Mr. Squeakers, Pink and I have never gotten along. Well, that's a shame.
But anyway,
welcome
to the Vomitorium. We are on the Weekday show for the 26th of April, 2021. How are you doing today?
Great.
Good.
Great.
As people know, you are Marsupial Gamer and I am the Metal.
You are. And I am. Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't have a great day at work today. It was kind of annoying. Had a lot of meetings, so I didn't get a whole lot done. And then the one big project that I had for the day, I didn't quite get done because it was complicated. But that's all right. I'll get it done in the morning. So how's your day?
My day? Yeah, man. It was better than it could have been. I was originally, I think I told you, I was supposed to do something like really early in the morning. And it was like screwing up my whole schedule. But I woke up and then I got a call saying it was canceled. So I just went right back to sleep. And then I was working on stuff for the rest of the day. The Twitch does this. I don't know why. There's some weird thing that when you download a file, like a video where the stream had got cut at the end and interrupted and it had to start like a new stream afterwards, that it crashes my video editor when that file gets put into there. Don't know why. So I was not able to put the RPG together as an MP3 yet. I'm going to have to go to YouTube and get the files from there because those don't tend to crash my editor. I don't know why the file's like that. I guess there's some problem with the codec at the end when the stream crashes. But whatever. YouTube doesn't have that problem. Yeah.
I was going to say, well, I mean, they're probably big files, but You know.
Yeah.
If we live closer together, I'd say give it to me. I'll shove it in Premiere Pro and send it to you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a
Or
little
it could just give
behind
you the
on that.
password to the Twitch and you could download it yourself.
Yeah, but how would that help you?
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Is that I would, but then how am I gonna? And then I can splice them together myself.
Well, I
but
just
then how
need
would
them
I
as
get
an
it?
MP3. That's all I need. I don't actually need them as a video, and MP3s are much smaller files.
Well, that's true. Well, if you can get it from YouTube, that'll work.
Yeah, yeah. It'll probably solve my problem.
But,
It has in the past. I was just trying to see if it would work this time, but there's been several times in the past that it's done the same thing, and I think it just has something to do with how the codec interacts with the stream dying at the end of it.
mm-hmm. I don't know why. I'll have to. I haven't actually. Obviously, that has happened to me recently because my internet's been weird, like dying midway through streams, which it didn't used to do.
Could it
so
be
I'm gonna have to
beavers?
try it out. Could be.
Yeah, yeah.
Could be mysterious pastries and trees, or something.
Oh, don't trust trees. Trees want to kill you.
That's right. Especially trees with croissants in them. But so I got some interesting news this morning. Apparently, I've been formally denounced.
Oh yes, I heard. I
don't think that's
By a
happened
fruit.
before. That's right. We won't bring up the type of fruit, but yeah, apparently I was called out.
And just so you know, Twitch, we're not using that in the derogatory term or form. No. We're using it as a literal fruit is the moniker.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Though I would use the derogatory honestly, term and not care.
You know what's funny is that like somehow I knew, like when I saw the title of the video, I was like, no. You know, this is my reaction, like, no, he's not. He's not going to call me by name. Oh my God, he totally did. Like, it was hilarious. I wasn't offended in any way. And by the way, for anyone watching, this is serious. Like, it wasn't somebody like just joking around. It was someone who apparently really, really hates me, and I have no idea why. I have no idea why, but it's hilarious.
I'm well acquainted with being hated by people.
Yeah. I've never said anything to him ever that was bad. Like, never. Not even close. I never said anything to anyone else about him that was bad. So I don't know where this came from.
Mr. Squeaker says, what kind of fruit? A plum, a cherry, a kind of berry? Well, we're not going to say which one, but it is in there.
Yeah. Anyway,
you can figure that
no
out
big deal.
yourself.
I thought it was hilarious. I was not offended in any way, even though I think it was meant to offend me. Yeah. But B, I downloaded it, so it's gonna show up in a video of mine, like in the intro. I might have to put it in like the intro of every, probably not live streams, but I'll put it in the intro of some videos. It'll be cool. And anyone who runs in the same circles as us will probably recognize the voice. So
yeah, well, to be honest, I don't even know his voice. I think I've only ever interacted with him in chat. That's it.
Oh, you haven't heard you haven't been to like his live stream? See, here's the thing. I used to go to his live streams all the time, and I loved them, and I interacted, and it was super fun. I was part of the crew. Like, never maybe his inner circle or whatever, but I was a regular. And then all of a sudden something changed, and I have no idea what. No idea.
I don't know. As a person, he's never really even amounted to my radar. So it's like, yeah.
And it's not like, and he quit live streaming, and I was like, okay, whatever. It wasn't someone that I would consider a friend, or even like an internet friend, or even like an acquaintance. It was someone whose live streams I enjoyed, and I went and chatted with other people mostly. But I never said anything bad about him, so I don't know where this came from. The only thing I can think of, well, maybe I shouldn't say it. I'm friends with someone who he used to be friends with, and they are not friends, and so I guess by association, I'm bad.
Yeah. Well, we should probably eventually move on because the further this goes, the closer to vague booking in person this just happens to be.
Anyway, I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So yes, let's move on.
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about first? We got a few things that we could get into. I've got some space news, I've got some strange news, or we've got the legal thing that we were talking about before this. I actually did pull up the documents on it.
I will say to Rebellious Pastry, yes, I think you do good streams. I find them very amusing, entertaining. So I like them. So I'll say that. And then I will say, I will agree. I was going to go with space, and Mr. Squeaker says space. So let's do that.
Okay, let's go with some space news first. So we're having some contention here between NASA and Blue Origin because NASA is doing their new human landing system, which they are awarding to a third, like an actual company. Let's say third party, but NASA's not a company; it's an organization. To an actual commercial business, they're awarding the landing system, and they pretty much just gave it to SpaceX. They were the only person on the list of consideration, and Blue Origin is protesting that they raised the bar, like they pushed the goalpost back for eligibility just so they could give it to SpaceX.
So like a no-bid government contract.
Which I have no problems with no-bid government contracts in some cases. Sometimes you just want to give it to the best in the field for good reasons. I don't think SpaceX is that much better in the field than most of its competitors. It just has a much larger budget behind it, which still offers a lot of opportunities that their competitors won't be able to do because money matters. But like, I'm not inherently against no bid contracts, depending on the circumstances.
Well, anything that screws over Blue Origin, which was founded by Jeff Bezos, is fine by me.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Bezos or Blue Origin. Actually, of all the people that I was rooting for to get us like practically into space, it was Richard Branson. But also,
I think
Virgin has air traffic control and all kinds of experience with aeronautics that it seems the most appropriate. But yeah, Origin can go fuck itself.
How long? I think I'd never even heard of Blue Origin. When was that founded?
Oh, I don't even know.
It
was founded near the beginning of the billionaire space race, right? Or as we're calling the second space race, right?
Yeah, it says it was founded in 2000, so
yeah,
21 years ago.
And people think like the billionaire space race started in 2016. There's some people who came to it later. Some of these people have been trying to get onto this for a good 20 years now.
Yeah, it looks like SpaceX was founded in 2002.
Yeah.
So,
it's just they finally got everything they needed to do around halfway through the 2010s. But they've been working at it for a long time.
Yeah, interestingly, SpaceX is about 3 times larger company than Blue Origin.
Yeah, which is why I was saying, like, they have a much larger budget and capacity and just everything than most of their competitors. Talent-wise, the tops of their field are kind of equivalent, but money matters a lot for this stuff.
Yeah. And hi to Sherelle Snow 305 on DLive. New viewer, I think.
Probably.
Welcome. So, they're still talking about your bedroom, man.
Oh, it's a nice room. I mean, hey, you know what? It's a loner, but it's got a really nice bed. Like,
yeah, it's that king
big, and it's all to me. The only person in this bed. That's all that matters.
That's good. Or is it? I don't know.
I mean, I could bring somebody back if I wanted to. But usually I prefer their place.
All yours. So what is this deal? It's a Moonlander deal?
Yeah, it's a human landing system. So
Okay.
it's from the Government Accountability Office, so that's where they get your grants from. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people back onto the moon and onto other surfaces, Mars, asteroids, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the entire contract has just gone straight to SpaceX.
Like for the launch and the lander and
For the whole system.
The whole thing.
Yep.
So basically SpaceX is...
This is what they basically needed to pull ahead of all of their competition.
Yeah, I bet.
And they made it because of a higher risk selection. Now, I think this also goes back to size and capacity. Human landing is a high risk priority, right? Putting humans into space is always a high risk. Things could explode, but especially trying to land them down, that creates even more risk. When we went to the moon, they even took back, they didn't think they were going to make it there, you know? They weren't even sure they were going to... Yeah, they weren't sure they were going to make it there. They weren't sure they were going to land, and they were especially not sure if they were going to come back from the mission.
Mm-hmm.
And having a higher capacity than everyone else, that means that they're going to be able to handle a high-risk situation better.
Yeah. Well, I've been wondering, like, why is it that we haven't gone back? Like, did they lose the technology to do it?
They actually claimed at one point that they did.
Yeah. I think I heard that.
There was a claim that they lost the technology to make it to the moon, which I'm not too suspect towards it, because they barely made it there in the first place. So did they really have the technology, or did they get lucky? But it was also the will hasn't been there, right? They could have easily gotten things back, like made new stuff that could do it. There just hasn't really been a will to go back.
Yeah. They did it they landed on the moon like 7 times or 8 times, I think.
Yeah, did it a handful.
Yeah. I wonder if the way they did it before became too expensive. I mean, it's just weird that they wouldn't just be like, yeah, let's just do it again with the exact same setup.
Well, and then even Squeakers points out the rockets were basically handmade, so their blueprints were basically useless. While modern rockets are completely machine crafted and just assembled with rivets and people.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess all of the effort went into the space shuttle. I think in the 70s and into the 80s and 90s.
Well, the space shuttle is probably the best thing that ever happened to space travel in general, because it is we've been over the efficiency of fuel to space, right? Several times on the program, where we want something that can help somebody glide back in safely, which the shuttle can do. Something that is smaller, has its own fuel system, so it's not too heavy, which the shuttle also does. It has its own thrusters. And something that can be navigated once in space, because a big chunk of the cost, weight, and all that's going to be the fuel in the rocket that gets the shuttle to space. Which is also why I have problems with reusable rockets, but, you know, I've split the difference because it's driven the cost of rocket fuel down a lot.
So did you watch the whole SpaceX thing where they did the flip and the land?
Yeah, I saw it. It was actually pretty impressive. Like, I'll even admit that was a pretty impressive thing to do.
See, but I was watching other people like say, you know, NASA's been able to do that for decades.
Yeah. But the thing that makes it impressive is that especially up until recently, SpaceX hasn't had access to any of the patents or blueprints and stuff from NASA. They've been they have a few former engineers that know some things, so they were trying to recreate some stuff on their own, but they've basically been doing all of this from scratch. which is what makes it pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Cross is right. That what was it? What was the first one? Challenger.
Yeah, the Challenger exploded.
And then Columbia exploded on re-entry.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, space shuttles exploding doesn't help get people interested in space travel.
Well, that's also why SpaceX having to do a lot of stuff from scratch, and they've made a lot of mistakes that, even though they don't have access to everything, they should have known not to do, because even the public has knowledge of how this stuff works. And they've had several, thankfully, unmanned tests have exploded on them. Yeah. And one of the problems they did... The first attempt at that flip thing exploded in midair. And one of the problems that they had was that their fuel injection system, you need two different types of fuel, two different chemicals when it comes to shuttles. And it's when these two fuels combine, it creates an exothermic reaction that actually makes the propulsion happen. So you need a fuel tank A and fuel tank B. So they thought the most efficient way to do this was to run a hollow line through fuel tank B from fuel tank A so that it could bypass it to where they're supposed to combine. But as things heat up, the line leaked and burst, and then there was a reaction inside fuel tank B causing the whole thing to explode. Now, we've known this is what you don't do for a long time. And yet they did it anyway. So I've been very critical of SpaceX in its early days. It has seemed that they've changed a lot. I have a different opinion of SpaceX than I did, say, well, it's early days. Not like their early days, but early days of them trying to get into space, so like 2016 and stuff. My opinion of them changed a lot roughly around the change of 2018 to 2019, as they started to seem more like a serious enterprise that have been picking up more talented people and working more with NASA. It was my biggest complaint is that they weren't working directly with NASA on anything in the earlier times.
Yeah. So is it just that they thought that they were smart enough to have solved the issue with that tube?
Probably. That's what I would assume.
So what's the right way to do it? Two tanks side by side or what?
Two tanks side by side can work. They've done that several times. We've done it too. That can still be problems. You can still get an explosion that way. If you are going to feed through, what you want to do is you want to actually make two separate holes for the tanks instead of having the tube be built into the tank going straight through. So it's like a single metal hole. You would want to make more like a donut structure that's got its own hole, and then there's another pipe that goes between with a gap in between. But that is honestly no different than two side-by-side tanks at that point. It's the same possibility of breach. Still a much better way to do things in general. Or another way, if you want to sacrifice how much fuel you can have, but if you make a more potent fuel, you can have off-center tanks, right? Where one takes up a quarter, like a whole lower half, and then on one side and an upper half on the other, so these things aren't aligned with each other. It's a lot safer, but it also greatly reduces the amount of fuel that you could have in the system.
Yeah. So NASA awarded this. When did they do it?
I don't have a date. It was very recent. This is current news from today. So.
Oh, it says NASA announced this month.
Yeah.
SpaceX. And then Dynetics of Huntsville, a third company, actually filed a protest with the GAO on Monday.
Yeah, I would doubt that Blue Origin would be the only one upset about this, since they just decided it was going straight to SpaceX.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like Origin, but there's a lot of competitors out there at the current point in time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Well, I wonder if they did a bid process,
SpaceX would probably win anyway. That's.
I know, like.
But I feel like people would make it feel like it's more fair if SpaceX won a bid process as opposed to just being given it. It at least has the illusion of fair play.
Yeah. But you kind of have, I guess maybe there's a law or rule or something in government where you'd have to justify it pretty thoroughly, I guess. But
yeah, I'm sure there's actually fair play involved here. They just don't see it, right? There could not. You know, sometimes it just happens in systems in the government specifically, that sometimes fair play is thrown out the window. But in general, our systems have been set up so well that it leans towards fair play than it doesn't. So I'm assuming they had good reasons for why they picked this. Again, going back to the budget and capacity that SpaceX has in general.
Well, they're saying that they changed the parameters so that Blue Origin didn't even qualify.
Yeah. So by changing the parameters, if SpaceX, you saw how much bigger it is than than Origin and even its next competitor. By changing the parameters, you could just cut everybody out because they're so much bigger.
Yeah. Is that what they did? They just said you have to have so much revenue or so many employees or something like that.
Yeah, well, I don't see what the actual parameters are. Like, it doesn't say what the goalposts are. It's just that it moved it. At least in the article I'm looking at, somebody else might have said it. But you could easily do that, right? They're so much bigger. There's probably a number of different goalposts that they could set to eliminate the competition.
Yeah.
But they could probably have a good reason for it too, right? Like, them being that big, like, why would we risk it on a smaller company?
Okay, yeah. It looks like when is this from? This is from today.
Yeah, most of it is from today.
Blue Origin filed the protests today, I guess. Interesting. So it's a $3 billion contract. So SpaceX gets $3 billion from the government to do this, right?
Yeah.
Or 2.89. Or no, wait. 2.89. It's funny because, like, it seems like almost everything that Elon Musk does is funded by the government.
Yeah, and that's a problem too, right? And this has been one of my biggest criticisms of all of Musk's properties, is that they're heavily government subsidized. So a lot of them are losses. They're just like loss factories. SpaceX is actually doing great. But in general, look at Tesla. Despite selling cars, Tesla is a net loss in revenue outside of subsidies. In the only country it's not subsidized, which I think is Denmark, it is losing money. It's not gaining any. And there's several solar farms, which is the company that he used the money from to launch Tesla in the first place, also losing money. The only thing that he's been a part of since he left that is net revenue in positive direction was PayPal, which he's not a part of anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not against that though, right? Like, this isn't just a criticism. There could be still benefits from running a company that's at a net loss if the entire system is benefiting from it. Like I said, what they've been doing with SpaceX has reduced the cost of rocket fuel in general with the reusable rockets. Solar farms also ended up reducing the cost of manufacturing solar panels. You see with the work with Tesla, electric cars in general have been going down in price, and batteries have gotten better. There are positive gains coming out of it, but showing that everything's a loss or is company outside of subsidies is a criticism that you can point at them.
Yeah, I'm reading about this protest, and it's like, so SpaceX's bid was $3 billion. Blue Origin was going to do it for $6 billion, and they wanted NASA to basically fund both of them for $9 billion.
Yeah.
So it's like you just saved $6 billion, and now you're complaining. Or, NASA just saved $6 billion.
Yeah.
They're complaining that they didn't spend enough money.
Well, so SpaceX, they can afford to do a lower bid because they've got the money, Oh, and hello, Dillard.
Hello.
Yeah.
What's up?
What are we talking about?
Space.
Oh.
The second space race.
Yeah.
Who's the race against?
Billionaires.
Yeah.
Who's the other
Billionaires?
billionaire that wants to be in space?
There's several of them. Jeff Bezos is one of them. You know, Elon Musk is one. Richard Branson is trying to do a lot of stuff. There's several billionaires all.
I thought Branson gave up on that.
He kind of pulled back, but he's still doing the whole Virgin flight thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goofy guy.
He was the one I was rooting for.
Why? Because of his pants?
No, because of his ties to the whole Virgin Atlantic and all
Al Qaeda?
air traffic control.
Dynetics apparently has been around for 47 years.
Yeah.
Since 1974.
Well, this is one of the reasons why, like, I don't want to throw Blue Origin out because they're also partnered with a bunch of older companies. Some of them I actually like. Like, one of the things helping Blue Origin with their development and machinery is Lockheed Martin. And Lockheed Martin is actually a really good company.
Yeah. More billionaires.
Yeah.
Did you hear, Richard Garriott went into space, right? Were you aware of that?
Yeah.
The creator of the Ultimate Series. He recently went on a trip to the Laurentian Abyss. Like to the bottom. That was his latest adventure. I guess the deepest trench in the world. Deepest ocean trench. I didn't even know that we could get to the bottom of that, but apparently.
I guess their pressure systems are better than they used to be. We used to be able to send drones down there, but I didn't know we could send people.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if he went all the way to the bottom, but...
I wouldn't want to go to the bottom of the ocean. For some reason, I feel safer in space than I do at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, even though the capsules, I'm sure, are similarly sized, it probably would feel a lot less claustrophobic, I think, in space.
Well, it's like Futurama, what was it? Like the spaceship was built to handle one or less atmospheres, but then going into the ocean, it's like, well, how many atmospheres are we under now? And it's like 30.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't they go to a planet that had 50 times the atmosphere?
Yeah, well, 50 times the gravity. But that would also be a pressure system. Like that should have broke their ship, honestly.
Well,
they had to take pillows on pallet jacks.
One pillow at a time.
Yeah, they put a bunch on there and it broke it. I love how like this Fry's spiky hair just like goes.
Yeah, Bender steps out.
When it started raining,
it instantly collapsed.
Was that done?
No, when it started raining, it was like bullets coming down from the sky.
Yeah.
So what did you come on here to talk about, John?
I didn't. I came to hang out because I'm bored.
That's what I figured. Like my that's where my mind immediately went. It's like he's just here because he's bored, which I have nothing against.
Like I was drawing stuff and I was like, man, there's nothing good on, except for Chester and Thundaro, but those guys are horribly, horribly racist.
No. Well, I was gonna say there's nothing good on, and then you just added something that fell into the first category.
Yeah, but I was watching Futurama's best moments a little while ago.
Yeah.
Comedy Central has a video out. It's like 8 hours long.
Ooh.
It's like Futurama's best moments are just pretty much all of Futurama.
Well, I think Futurama's way longer than 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a
that
single
was a joke.
season. Yeah.
Trying
I
to
would
find
watch
you
it,
guys'
though.
show.
On like I don't know, 8 hours. How long was it? 4 hours if I watched it on double speed. That's not too long.
Mm-hmm.
I watch most things that if I'm not watching something live where I can't change the speed, I watch it on like at least 1.5 times the speed. I can't stand watching things on normal speed anymore. I've kind of become spoiled.
Yeah. Well, your brain works that
like
fast.
me in commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watch live streams at 1.5.
Especially because they take
Sometimes
so
if I'm waiting.
long.
Yeah. But my favorite.
Hold on a second. I've never been able to break through this mentality of going back and watching a live stream after it's ended.
Oh, I don't do that. I'm just talking about like if I'm behind, but I don't want to really miss anything. I want to catch up on what they're talking about.
Yeah, because you can already watch the VOD at that rate.
Yeah. Once the live stream's over, I find it difficult to watch.
It depends on the stream.
Well, it's like you missed it, right? Like a live TV show. It's like, oh, I missed it. Oh, well, I'll catch the next one.
Well, there's some things that are like, it's not interactive. It's just being done live. Like, I watch academic lectures and debates and stuff like that sometimes. And a lot of times I catch them after the fact. But I don't want to... If you're sitting there and you're watching something live, you're willing to watch it at the rate that it's happening. If I'm going to go and watch like a lecture after the fact, I'm going to watch it at an accelerated speed because I don't want that 3 hours to be 3 hours. I want it to be like 2 or less. Maybe even down to an hour if I can.
What?
Yeah. I mean, there's some streams where they don't really interact with the chat, like
so it's like
the
watching a
Lotus
show.
Eater. Yeah, like the Lotus Eaters, I'll watch after the fact because they don't even interact with the chat anyway. Actually, I don't think they're even on YouTube anymore.
No, they're not. But you can watch after the fact on their channel. They don't have increased playback speed. But I can listen to it on Spotify at increased playback speed.
Oh, cool. And they do upload segments to YouTube. But half the fun of watching a live stream is interacting in the chat, I think.
Yeah, it just depends on the type of stream.
Yeah. What about you,
there
John?
are definitely certain streams I barely even want to watch while they're live, let alone go back and rewatch them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes I'm just looking at like I'll see like, oh, that looks like an interesting live stream, and then I see that it's like 3 or 4 hours. I'm like, nope.
Or
any live stream over an hour, I'm not gonna click on. And if I do click on it, I'm gonna skip around to see. Usually, if I go back and watch somebody's live stream, it's because somebody said something about me on it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't. If I catch it live, I'll watch anything live at regular speed. I don't have any problem with that. But once it's over, I missed it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I still like to do rewind a bit and watch it at 1.5.
Yeah.
Even if it's live.
I do it sometimes. Yeah. Because you don't want to miss the context of what happened beforehand.
Oh, I put in the Civ chat. I put the newest one that's coming out tomorrow. Marsupial, if you wanted to see it.
The newest comic. I didn't get your comic today.
I wonder why.
I don't know. Should we show this on screen?
Sure.
I guess I'm looking at it.
Here, you can.
Let me pull it up.
So, The Buckler, Adventures in Villainy.
Yes, that's what it's called.
I like that a lot better than your original name for it.
What was I forgot the original name. What was it going to be?
It was something like it was really pretentious.
World-class villainy.
Yeah, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me shrink this so it actually fits in the...
He says, he wouldn't lower it, so I just broke it. Good man. Cheap, cheap, cheap. I'm on it, boss. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Really?
Well, clearly the volume was bothering him. Like, you wouldn't lower it so it broke it. Like, it must have had like a boombox or something. Then the birds start chirping.
Oh.
He's just trying to have a peaceful fishing day.
I get
this
it
isn't
now.
hard to get.
I had to have someone explain it to me.
Like, there was like little musical notes floating in the sky.
See?
Yeah, I guess.
Along with cussing.
Why is it copyright 2020?
Because that's the first time that The Buckler has been published, which was in the Rick's ash can that he had.
Yeah.
I see. I need you. I need you to explain your last one. Hold on, let me look at it.
Well, I can explain it without.
Was it the cat one? What was the last one?
The cat one.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
with you when you made that one. That one makes sense.
Go ahead, explain it, Metal.
Here, wait. Let me.
Oh, you're
I
pulling
can.
up.
Yeah.
Let me put this on. Okay,
This
so
was
what do you
yesterday,
not get about
today.
this, right? He
It
sees
says
this
meow,
cat,
the Majesty.
right? He thinks his
Okay.
cat's adorable, and he wants to
Mhm.
take it home, but it's like clawing and scratching at him, so it's too much of a responsibility for him, but he still wants to keep the cat, so he unloads the responsibility onto his henchmen. Like, how hard is this to get?
Oh, those are his henchmen. Got it. Okay, I didn't know who those guys were.
Right. That's why I said when I put these out in like a book format,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna save this one for probably towards the middle or end, after the henchmen are established as henchmen.
Okay.
At least people that do what he says,
God, I can't believe I have to explain everything.
You obviously do. I mean, it was funny in the first couple of frames, but I was like, I don't understand the last part. I'm not in a buckler state of mind, clearly.
Yeah.
This guy couldn't pour water out of a boot with instructions on the heel.
Timothy says, my favorite one is the male, and it was not even his.
Yeah.
Did I miss?
Somebody came over. That was the one from the day before. Like he's like sitting there and he's like going through a bunch of mail. Like he's like bills, advertisements, bills. He's like, we never get any good mail around here. And then he calls his henchman over and he says, you just stop stealing mail from bums and go get me some high class mail.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that one. That is funny. That is a good one.
I subverted your expectations is what I did.
That's pretty funny. I also like the one with the mask.
Which one? Mine or models?
Well, both actually. I liked yours. It says, "Pardon, sir, you have to wear a mask to be in here." And of course, he's a superhero. He's wearing a mask, and he's just like,
Yeah.
to his face. The model redid it where he pulls the other guy's face off of his skull and just.
It's objectively funnier, but I don't want to go that crude with it.
Yeah. They were both funny.
I want them to just be like comics pertaining to comedic aspects of fake villainy instead of like a murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome.
Well, see, this is the type of stuff that was going through my head initially when you're asking me like scenarios for the buckler, like way back when you were just trying to draw like one-off stuff. Like these are the type of things that I was thinking of.
Yeah, he's a super villain, but he's not like that's more like serial killer.
Yeah.
humor. So I think I liked yours better. But,
Yeah.
No, I gotta give the people what they. If everybody wants serial killer, then I guess I gotta make the buckler a serial killer.
Yeah. No, I don't think people want that.
Not gonna ignore the audience,
Yeah, that just doesn't seem like him though. Anyway, he seems more like a tough guy. Like he'll kill somebody if he has to, but it doesn't seem like it's his go-to thing.
Last comic says we demand Marsupial take an IQ test.
I will not have anybody taking fake-ass internet IQ tests on my stream.
What about real ass IQ tests?
We can get a hold of one, but those are hard to get a hold of. You need to pay money.
I've taken a real one before. Do you want to know what my IQ came to?
Yes.
Sure.
I believe it was somewhere around 135.
I believe that.
Good for normal humans. You
Yeah,
know.
it's above average.
It's the exact same as Rick Piper.
I know a couple people that have scored significantly higher than that.
I don't know anybody that's smart.
Well, intelligence and smart are not identical.
Yeah, and plus IQ tests. I mean, I don't go around saying that's my IQ because, frankly, the tests are pretty subjective anyway.
Well, even the good ones. If you take like a really good one, because IQ is one of the things that we do know the most about when it comes to like intelligence research. What it's measuring is a thing called the G factor or G quotient, and that's for general intelligence.
Boys don't have a G factor medal.
Yeah, what that is basically the rate in which neurons fire is basically what it's measuring if you're taking a good one. So a good way to explain what IQ does, like if you really want to understand, is say you've got like 6 people and you give them a puzzle and everything they need to solve the puzzle is right there. The person with the highest IQ will very likely finish that puzzle before everyone else. That's basically all it's describing. It doesn't take into account how industrious a person is, doesn't take into account what the person actually knows, what, you know, if they're an expert in something. It's just how fast your neurons fire. People with a higher IQ typically have a higher reaction time. Doesn't mean they have better reflexes though, because they could be a flimsy flop, you know.
Well, plus it doesn't take into account education.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you hear about like geniuses who make a big impact in mathematics or physics, particle physics, and that sort of thing, it's a combination of IQ and education and opportunity and all kinds of different.
Yeah. Well, like in the past, say like somebody like Newton, who was historically one of the biggest contributors to mathematics for the longest time. Newton was a lord. He was Sir Isaac Newton. He got knighted at one point in time, but he was also from a noble household before he got knighted. He had a really good private tutor and educational upbringing. The dude had everything for him to have a good start, and he happened to also be a very intelligent person.
Mm-hmm. But at any rate, yeah, I do. I think it's seems to be a lot about pattern recognition.
Yeah, that's all.
And I think people with OCD tend to score higher because of that. Tend to see patterns.
Well, I also think there's a correlation that people with higher IQ are more likely to have OCD.
Yeah, probably. But Timothy claims that I will one day understand the human race. I doubt it, but you know, I keep trying.
One day we will replace him with a live wallaby, but that's not today.
So, John, how did you feel about getting denounced?
Oh,
since you were denounced as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Never mind.
Like betrayed, because it's not that I felt betrayed. I felt like that's weird because I don't think I've ever said anything, too cherry about Cherry.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I was like, I don't even think I ever said anything bad about him, even in private. And then he denounced me. I was like, oh, that's weird. Because I genuinely. I don't enjoy his show, but he had a segment that I used to enjoy called Today Back in the Day. I used to enjoy that and frequent that stream. I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like,
So on a different subject.
For John. A Mr. Evan Hotep wants to know, where's my buckler book?
It's here in my computer. Not out yet. Yeah, I was denounced. Broke my heart.
No, really.
I'm not even playing. I was like, that made me feel bad. I was like, oh man.
Oh. Well, you're always welcome here. We'll never denounce you, John.
I mean, you say that now.
Well, I mean, even if we denounce you, you're still welcome here.
That's right.
That's just the type of people we are.
Definitely.
You got denounced too, Marsupial. By name.
Aware. I know. I talked about it earlier in the stream. I kind of wish I hadn't brought it up again now that now that I did.
I'm assuming I was by association.
Yeah, he referred. That actually made me feel a little good, to be honest, because he referred to everybody in my sphere as the John Dillard crew.
But then specifically named me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Timothy, we're not going to say it again. If you weren't paying attention, then,
Rewind the show and then catch back up at like 1.5 times the speed.
That's right. I'm kind of jumping around here. It's one of those kind of days. Dianetics sounds like, wasn't there Scientology book? Is it Dianetics? Scientology?
Oh, I don't know that much about Scientology. I'd have to look into it.
I saw Dianetics and I was like, is that like some kind of Scientologist space program or space company? That's Dianetics.
That is not a religion I am an expert on.
No.
Or likewise a Ponzi scheme I am an expert on.
Yeah, it's not a Ponzi scheme so much as a cult.
Well, it's a cult that's also a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
What is
because
Timothy
they take
Olsen
the idea of
about?
Catholic indulgences to the extreme.
Yeah. Who's JDC?
The John
Dillard crew.
Oh, John Dillard crew. Yes.
Good name.
Can't believe we have to explain everything.
Oh, Marsupial. It's one of those days, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just not on the ball today. I had a rough day at work, sorry.
I heard you were putting a tweet. You were even complaining about your work, like your actual real life work online, like a woman.
I know, I should delete that probably. All I said was that I was a lot of meetings and I probably wasn't going to get anything done today.
Who is this person you named in the tweet?
But I didn't name anyone.
You did?
Oh, Jira?
Yeah.
Oh, that's our ticket system.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
He thought it was spicier than it actually was.
Yeah, no. This isn't a person named Jira. It's a, it's a system
Does
for
person dream of sushi?
Perhaps. Yes, because Jira is what I use to keep track of my tickets, and so I always have a queue of things to do, and I didn't get much done today.
I don't know. I've been looking for a name to call the people that watch my show. That's the new name.
Okay. I know you've been looking for a while now.
I'm locking it in.
The John Dillard crew.
John Dillard crew?
For his audience. Because everybody's got names for their audiences and stuff.
The JDC.
Yeah.
I guess Are you still the leader of the Cult of Raven, John?
Yes.
The de facto.
You bought the leadership for $1. Yeah.
No, I was already the leader. I just bought the name.
Okay.
If anybody's curious, I am referring to our audience as the Assembly, short for the Centurion Assembly.
Okay. You've been calling it that forever.
Yeah.
I think.
I just don't know how many people were aware of it.
So explain, I don't know if people heard about this. Can you explain briefly this thing with the Discord community server?
Oh, yeah. So our server is a community server. What that means is it was always a public server, but a community server becomes searchable after it hits a certain capacity. And it is a public server. Anybody can join. And community servers have options and accessibilities that most servers do not. To become a community server, you just have to have a actual like announced set of rules, which we do have a set of rules. And you have to have moderators, an update room, which we have as well. And one of the cooler features that community servers have right now that other servers don't is the showroom, which is like a clubhouse type thing. And it's kind of like a panel room, which we've talked about on a previous episode of the Vomitorium. It's only audio at the moment, so anybody who is on the panel would show up in the way that John Dillard is showing up right here, with just their avatar and a assigned color in the background that goes along with the avatar. And basically everybody can feed into the audience at will, with up to like 5,000 people sitting in the audience. I think that's 5,000 including the people on the panel, but you know, still, it's a huge audience. And they can basically, it's almost like being at a convention with a panel of hosts all talking. You can pull up somebody onto the panel temporarily to ask a question, drop them back out. And community servers just, they have a lot of options that normal servers don't.
So eventually we'll be using some of those features, maybe.
Now, these servers are held up to a higher standard. So basically, I have not safe for work rooms set up on there. If you would like to post something that is not safe for work, please use the appropriate room. You can still go wild. Nothing violates our rules. It just has to be in the appropriate room. Other than that, nothing's really changed about the Discord server.
Mm-hmm. Which one is the NSFW?
That is the midnight.
Not like I'm
room, right? There's the public.
This is the
room,
room
there's
that
the
I need to be
midnight
hanging out in.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
You
all
can
the
tell
spicy
it's
pickles?
the anyone that is NSFW, the hashtag has like a little mark on it in front of it. You hover over and it tells you that it's a not safe for work room.
I'm gonna put some feet pics in there.
Oh,
You would.
do that.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants to see, right?
Probably not. I mean, the Civ chat's already marked as not safe for work anyway, but only the mods and regulars can go in there anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've
It's
noticed
basically
that
just the
going
mod
in.
chat.
Yeah. I've gone into
Everybody
that
should
channel
join.
and it's got me multiple times. Like every time I go in there, it seems like. Or maybe
Yeah, I
once
don't
a
know
week it asks me.
why it does that.
Yeah.
It doesn't ever ask me, but that's probably because I'm the server admin. So I have to just be in every single room regardless.
Yeah. Well, there you go. We start with we'll start with a sock post. But yeah.
Is that your foot?
Yes, it's my foot, of course.
Okay. As long as you're not like
But it's
creepily
wet.
posting pictures of other people's feet.
No, I'm wearing a sock, so it's not too lewd. But yeah, if anyone wants to see that, it's in there. Enjoy. I think we've reached peak degeneracy.
I don't think
Yeah,
anybody's
we've
going to
also-
enjoy that.
We've also reached the end of the show. It was letting us tip a little bit longer because it took us a while to start up. We got distracted and I forgot to actually take us off the loading screen. That's my fault.
Yes, that's my sock account, by the way.
Mm.
In case anyone was wondering.
A problem with wet feet? Why is it dry fit?
The name of my sock, I don't know.
Well, you
Oh,
know, there's
well,
nothing
you post-
worse than wet socks.
You posted something wet. That's interesting.
Is it interesting or am I going to regret this?
No, you're not going to regret it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't.
So yes, that's
He
the
only
end of
regretted it a little bit.
it.
I would have only regretted if I showed it on stream.
Right. Well, I could post some of that too. We have fun. We have fun in the Discord.
Yeah.
Only a little
Everybody
bit.
should join.
Yeah.
We also take
Oh,
calls.
guess what's happening tomorrow?
What?
Death.
Return of Piper.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is live streaming
Ooh,
tomorrow.
wait, tomorrow?
Tomorrow and tomorrow only.
On the 27th.
Why on a Tuesday?
Rick Piper of Cross Comics going to be live streaming one day only. Special gala event.
Cool.
It's not.
Well, I mean, I wish it was more, but better than none.
This is true.
Isn't it? What is it going to be about?
I can't wait to find out. Maybe he'll tell us in the chat. He's here. He's the last person that said anything in the chat.
It's a going away party for his retirement.
Oh, lovely. Well, all right. Don't miss it. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Though technically he did live stream this week already.
Yeah. I said tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Why 7 p.m. Eastern? It's not a high noon. It's not a after dark. It's its own thing.
That's the time you put in the chat.
Yeah. Going by what Rick is saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, why is it not? What is the topic for tomorrow? Why is he coming back on Tuesday and Tuesday only? Why is he coming back? What is what is going on?
I don't know. They'll have to come back tomorrow and find out on Rick's channel.
Well, the topic for tomorrow, assuming that he is done, because it's 2 hours before we start. The topic for us tomorrow might be whatever the heck Cross decides to do on his stream.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever he talks about, we'll be talking about him talking about that on the Vomitorium.
Because we probably have nothing better to talk about. So maybe more space news. I don't know. I've got some random things in storage to get to in case we run out of things to talk about.
Is there space news?
There's always space news.
I seen all over YouTube where they were blasting Musk or making a joke that he's going to have many, many corpses on his hands on this mission to Mars.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably true though. You gotta love some gallows humor.
Don't joke about that when you're the employer.
Come on, he's an internet shitlord. What do people expect by this point?
Yeah.
Bellius, unsurprisingly, trying to direct the conversation back towards her, wants to know, will the Vomitorium ever talk about her stream?
I don't know. I don't plan this stuff half the time, okay? I've got some stuff on the docket, but most of the time we figure out what we're going to talk about like anywhere between 45 to 15 minutes before the stream starts.
If your stream is more interesting than Rick's, maybe.
Yeah.
Is she going to stream tomorrow as well on Tuesday?
Yeah, when's your next live stream? Go ahead, shill away. No, I'm talking to Rebellious Space.
The next live stream is going to be tomorrow at, I think it's 4 p.m. Pacific.
Interesting.
Yeah. If you don't know, that's 7 Eastern, so.
Yeah, I had to think about that for a second.
I didn't have to, because I could tell the way he was thinking. He was trying to actually reverse it down to his time zone.
Yes, I was.
That's right.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like sabotaging Rick's stream for some reason. I got this uncontrollable urge. It just came to me.
Well, we'll find out about that in the future.
Yep.
But until then, this is the end of the show. Thank you for showing up, everyone. Thank you, Dillard, for coming in and hanging out with us. And if you like the show, share it with somebody else who might like it, possibly upvote it wherever you are, and also consider donating a monetary amount of any sort to the Vomitorium. Visit streamlabs.com/Vomitorium live. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.